You thought it was bad that Walter White was selling meth. Now he's even worse. He's a communist. Trumbo's the movie. Bryan Cranston starring as Trumbo, a screenwriter who was blacklisted when Hollywood was very scared of the Red Menace, that would be communism, back in the day, and how he managed to fight that with a group of his friends and eventually, possibly, not to give anything away, win. Although if you know history, you probably kind of know what happens. Although that's kind of the power of these stories, right? You don't always know where they're going or what happens. That's what I love about true stories, is that it sheds light on part of them that you didn't know about. Even if you know kind of the basics, I love kind of seeing the details. And this is a really good movie at that. In fact, it's a really good movie altogether. I loved this. Bryan Cranston is wonderful. Great performance here. He's beautiful as Trumbo. Captures the spirit of this man who seemed to be a little bit cantankerous, a little bit funny, and a little bit dramatic and meaningful as well. All those elements there done very well by Cranston. The funny part is something I think to bring out. Let's talk about that. This movie is humorous, and I love it when a dramatic movie can do that well. Doesn't take away from the power of the story or how compelling this story is, but at the same time gives you that lightheartedness to enjoy those moments both from this character and the story in general. I thought that was great. Louis C.K. is responsible for a lot of that as well, although I would say he gives a great performance here, but he's pretty much just Louis C.K. I think that's the only performance I've ever seen him give, which is fine. It works for this character in this movie. And really, at the end of the day, the story is just so compelling and so interesting, and the way it resolves, and I won't give anything away, is, I thought, phenomenal. It was one of those things where you couldn't have written it better as a script, the way it kind of works out. Real life is like that sometimes, even better than you can write in a script. So Trumbo I thought was really good. The one thing I would say, if there's anything about this movie to bring it down a little bit, and this does just a little bit, because of the tone of the movie, being over the top works for most of it, but there are just a few moments here and there where that over the top tone just goes a little bit too far and pulled me out of the movie, and I talk about this a lot, I knew I was watching a movie at that point rather than just spectating a story. And because of that, those moments I got pulled out, but they were just here and there and far and few between. Overall, Trumbo is a wonderfully fun and interesting and compelling story that Bryan Cranston just knocks out of the park. I'd highly recommend it and give it an A-. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. We'll get to the best ever challenge here in a bit. First, if you want to do more around here, click the cards up here from YouTube. That'll slide out. You can see other videos on the channel, how to donate to the channel, where to go to the website. It's yourmoviefriend.com. You could probably figure that out yourself without the cards, but if you want to check them out, they're right up there. Also, if you do the Periscope thing, you can find me on Periscope. Just search for my name. That's Aaron Dicer, Aaron Dicer. And I like to Periscope when I come out of movies. Right after I've seen it, it's kind of fresh. Have that conversation with you, kind of answer your questions as well as kind of formulate my thoughts with a group. It's been really fun to do that. The podcast, if you do podcast, is called SiftPop, SiftPop. Search for that in iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you do podcasts. You should be able to find it every week. We have a lot of fun talking about pop culture, TV, movies, all sorts of fun and different stuff. We have a guest on every week as well. All right, on to the Best Ever Challenge, where you name the best movie ever in a particular category. Also try to identify my choice. This time, we're going with movies that end in the letter O, like Trumbo. There are a lot of them. I was surprised. Do yourself a favor and try to think of as many as you can without looking them up. See how many you can get. I'd be interested to see in the comments how many you got without looking them up. As far as the best one ever, the clue for mine, actually my favorite director had two of them that ended in O, and my favorite of his was the one where he is credited with inventing the dolly zoom. It's a little specific, but you can get there probably. You can take a guess in the comments. Let me know there. First person to get it right does get a point. Also leave yours there too. As always, I'll give you 5 extra seconds to hit subscribe. Just hit the logo right down in this corner.